Snapper is back with another freaking video with her husband. You already know.
What's going on, guys?
So, hey, man, back with it, man. That's what Aunt Jessie May called me. She calls me Seabo. You ever heard her call me that?
Yeah. She put an S on everything. I'm like, Jessie, why do you do that?
Country.
She don't care.
Country.
She want her own individual style.
Hey, man, so we're out back with another one, man. Bring you another one, man. Let's go. So next up, we got Candace Owens at a hearing on confronting white supremacy.
So I must say, that I had been listening to her. We've been, schooling ourselves, wanting to be more involved in politics for our own knowledge and, voice in our area, city, state, government, whatever. So we have really just been listening to people, but she's one of the ones that I've been diving into her argument a lot more. That's why you can't go with the flow and you can't go with everybody else. You need to learn and know things for yourself and what's going to benefit you and your family.
That's right. So if the world say let's go left, you may want to think about, and I'm not talking about this, not sides as far as red or blue,
right?
But just in life, if the world say everybody's going over here, you might want to question it and think about going that way.
Always find out which direction is going to be best for you to go.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Just mindful about doing everything everybody else do. Just be
and I just said all that to say because I'm starting to really like her arguments and her points of how she's doing things, and I like how she is able to defend herself or defend the subject matter or her stance very well. So let's see what she's talking about.
Let's get it.
What is the name of this?
Candace Owens at hearing on confronting white supremacy.
Okay, let's go. I'm not going on.
It's that's the chords in the way.
Come on, techno man. Get yourself together.
You're jealous of my abilities.
Not at all.
Those peeping toms come in uninvited, force their way into your homes. Yep, through your computer. Somehow they find an open door, backdoor way in, and bam. Next thing you know, bank passcodes don't work anymore, phone is locked, email passwords have been changed. You are in a frantic panic state. The worst is going through your mind. And it's happened. Identity theft. The fastest growing crime in America, and every 14 seconds there's a new victim. The question is, will the next victim be you? I'm proud to be in partner with today's sponsor, Aura. Aura is identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software all combined into one easy-to-use app. A win-win. You can beat those digital peeping toms quick and right away with Aura. Protect your family and yourself from identity theft with Aura. Join the 14-day free trial at www.aura.com/SIBO and Snappa.
I just have to say that I object strenuously to your use of the word hilarious. To me, this feels a lot like your reaction to being named in one of these manifestos. Now, you're, of course, not responsible for the words of somebody writing that document. But I do think that laughing at it is a real problem because these are real families that are impacted by this violence. And I think our efforts towards talking about this have to start from...
Before we go forward, this person right here look real tough right here in the back.
Who?
Please don't let her jump up and punch nobody. Right here, strong face, right in the middle.
She ain't even, boy, interrupting.
Of mutual respect, which is what I've heard from this side of the table. Now, the reason we don't have those numbers, I want those numbers as much as you do, but to say the numbers don't show something is simply not supported by the data.
Okay, and I have 38 seconds left, Ms. Mulligan, if you want to respond within that time.
The only thing I would add is that it's in the name. Terrorism, domestic terrorism, it terrorizes us. It terrorizes us in our homes. It terrorizes us in our schools. And to the points made by the other panelists, it is disproportionate to its impact on any individual life, and it's not.
You reject the idea it's something that doesn't matter or doesn't really matter?
Absolutely reject.
Okay. All right, so here's where we are. Every member now has had 5 minutes and... Okay, and Mr. Clay, so we have two members who have not. So I'm going to go to the two members who have not yet, and we'll give an opportunity for a closing thought to any member who wants before we go.
Am I next to respond, or is Mr. Meadows?
I thought Mr. Meadows was next.
Mr. Meadows, okay.
Mr. Meadows is next, then Mr. Clay, then to you, Mr. Jordan.
Ms. Owens, obviously this is a gang up on you. You know, we're giving these witnesses the ability to do a rebuttal on you, and so you know, I find it unfair, Ms. Ballou. I mean, you know, candidly, for you to show mutual respect and then you to go after Ms. Owens, it's not appropriate. So, Ms. Owens, you can have 4 minutes and 34 seconds to respond. However,
yield for a second.
I'll yield.
Thank you. I believe, Ms. Owens, when you used the word hilarious, it was referencing the fact that no one had asked you a question. It wasn't to the subject matter of the hearing. Is that right?
That is correct.
And to have another witness insinuate something that is not accurate is just not appropriate, Mr. Chairman, for how witnesses are supposed to behave in front of this committee. I also think you didn't say it doesn't matter about the subject matter of today's hearing. You said there are other subjects that matter as well, and maybe we should spend some time on those. Is that accurate?
That is correct, and they matter much, 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 much more. And I have said that. I said that in my opening, and I will say it again. You know that white supremacy and white nationalism ranks nowhere near the top of the issues that are facing Black America. And the reason that you are bringing them up.
She is absolutely right.
Yeah.
She is absolutely right. And sometimes it can be focused on that. That's what the thing. That's not just the thing. That's a thing, but that's not the only thing.
But if a person doesn't want to address the issue, they can seem as though they can try to pivot to make it seem that we're attacking this. Now let's attack this thing to get us sidetracked to be able to not address the issue at heart. But, you know, great that these two people here, you know, were able to say that government officials, whatever role they play, because I don't know who they are, but they're like, no, that's not, we know what the intention is. Let's address what the intention.
Let's address what the intention is.
I like that.
In this room is because it is attempt to make the election all about race as the Democrats
Not in my case, Ms. Owens. I'm sorry. Please do not characterize my motive.
Mr. Chairman, it's my time.
Yeah,
it's my time.
You've got your time, Mr. Meadows. I'll give you 3 more seconds.
Every 4 years, you bring up race, and you knew exactly what I meant when I said hilarious, and you just tried to do live what the media does all the time to Republicans, to our president, and to conservatives, which you tried to manipulate what I said to fit your narrative. Okay? I was not referring to the subject matter that is hilarious. I said it's hilarious that we are sitting in this room today, and I've got 2 doctors and a missus, and nobody can give us real numbers that we can respond to so we can assess how big of a threat this is. Because you know that it is not as big of a threat as you are trying to make it out to be so that you can manipulate. And the audacity of you to bring up the Christchurch shooting manifesto and make it seem as if I laughed at people that were slaughtered by a homicidal maniac is, in my opinion, absolutely despicable. And I think that we should be above that. To try to assign reality or any meaning to a homicidal maniac writing a manifesto, which, by the way, let the record show, also stated Spyro the Dragon, the child's cartoon, as a source of inspiration.
That's why so people say, I've heard in the past, like video games and stuff like that, people are like, oh, they're not influential. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. You don't know the mindset and state of this particular child. So now you put the mindset, probably whatever he could be going through in the household or whatever he's going through in his climate and not being accepted or whoever it is, and then you put on something like this, that makes...
Well, of course. And the thing is, when we look at things, they have some level of, when we look at things and we hear things, they have a level of influence on our psyche, on our mind.
Yes.
And it starts as a kid. You know, actually it starts in the birth canal, coming through the mother, you know, whatever she's experiencing emotionally, and learning is still being imparted and decoded into the child's DNA. So, of course, the media, the cartoons, music is going to have an impact and influence because it does. It's geared for that.
I agree.
Yeah. Let's go, Candace.
That's why I'm not such a big fan of like certain games like GTA and stuff like that. I used to, but with the mindset of where the world is going, that's not helpful for them young guys.
Nelson Mandela as a source of information. I don't think that Nelson Mandela has inspired mosque shootings. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. You would rather assign meaning to a homicidal maniac than to actually address the things that I said today that are actually harming Black America. Number one, father absence. Number two, the education system and the illiteracy rate. Illegal immigration ranks high, abortion ranks high, white supremacy and white nationalism, if I had to make a list again of 100 things, would not be on it. This hearing, in my opinion, is a farce, and it is ironic that you're sitting here and you're having 3 Caucasian people testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do I know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been Black in America my whole life, all 30 years, and I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
Yo.
Well.
I'll yield back.
Oh, yo. Wait.
What'd he say?
Wait.
Go back. Oh, on your back? He said, on your back? Well, I got your back. What'd he say?
Wait, hold up.
Ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
I'll yield back.
Thank you.
He said, I will yield back. I'm going to come back.
Regroup. Let's state the facts and let's stick to the facts. All this other fluff that y'all talking about that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about and what my point is and why we really need to be here discussing these issues. We're going to get them out the way because you want to throw me off and throw this hearing off to make it appear it's something that it really isn't. This is why we need to be here. This is what we need to be focusing on. And why ain't we? All this other stuff. Deuces. I love it.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it.
That's on point, man. Let's go, man.
Okay.
Let's go, man.
Okay. Let's dig in.
Hey.
Let's dig in. Okay, guys.
I ain't gonna lie. Hold on. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I'm starting to get even more understanding of what Tom McDonald would be saying in his rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This starting to bring a little light to stuff that I wasn't privy to.
Well, Tom has always had the truth in the lyrics. It's just not going to be sugar-coated with the icing and sprinkles that people don't want to hear and may not like the visual taste preference that he's using to be creative, but as an artist and someone who wants to speak the truth from a certain perspective, it is what it is. And I'm a facts person all day. I don't care what you think. I need numbers and I need resources and I need sources that are reputable, not your mama's auntie cousin website who did some reading on Twitter and want to write an article about it. I ain't on that. I'm on solid facts, like she said. Let's get the stats. And then when you look at the stats, you really have to break the stats down as what area is this in, what was done, how many people, who did the research. You know, that's the type of research
all the above
that I learned in grad school. But yeah, that's what it is. You just can't say, oh, they have this article and this is the percentage. We had to dive into the research. Let's dive into it. And where did you get these numbers from? How did you develop this information?
Yeah. A panel of 4 people. A panel of 4 people.
Ooh, let's go. Exactly. With 10 people that are in your research study. So yeah, you're gonna have these big numbers because you ain't got but 10 to 20 people.
Let's go.
All right. Anyway, I digress.
All right, man. We're gonna keep doing more things. We're making some certain shifts that have brought to our attention. That's really trying to move us in a certain spirit of how we want to go.
And people have been asking us to kind of chime into these things. We kind of dived in a little bit, but they wanted to see, how we were feeling about how things were shifting. Yeah. So, those of you who've already been putting it out there, reaching out to, SIBO, and we're listening. We're listening. Yeah, and y'all know how we like to switch it up. You already know about this channel. We don't ride the same wave forever. When it's time to make that shift, it's time to make that shift. So we're making that shift.
That's right, man. You already know, making that shift, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Feel it in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that. But let's go.
All right, guys. See you in the next video.
Let's go, man.
Love you.